Hey everyone, welcome back. Today you can see we are moving into a new part. We're going to be working and spending some time together talking about geometry. So we're going to focus on this idea of coordinates. And so as always, like things will make more sense as we go, but what we're going to really keep in mind here, coordinates really refer to the idea of a location. So we're going to start kind of looking at the location of things, like ordered pairs. And we're going to help ourselves use an axis to do that. So again, these are some things that will make sense as we go. But this is really this idea about how do we start identifying the fact of like where things are located on what we refer to as a plane, and not an airplane. That's not what an airplane looks like. Now we're gonna give it a propeller. Not a pickle with a flower in front of it. Not that kind of plane, but more about like how it is that we think about two-dimensional shapes and what they look like and where they are. And we'll get to all that, but today we won't cover all that in this video. But today we are just gonna like step into the concept of order pairs, how those are coordinates, and what we do for the axis to do that. So let's dive in. As always, doing the work is going to make some more sense. So what you're actually literally looking at right now, which is this completely blank screen, is a plane. And that's what we have everywhere. Your piece of paper or even just the space you're looking at, everything's this plane. And in math, we kind of help ourselves find this by using coordinates. So as I had stated before, coordinates are kind of like this idea of helping us find a location. And, you know, for a lot of the things we can't see, especially like in science, we like to model. And so what we have done as mathematicians over time is we've created this grid. And I'm going to just start with this one for now. But it helps us really think about everything that's out there in this plane, this blank space, and where things are located. So for example, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to take and take a coordinate. I'm going to take a location. I'm going to take a point. I'll call this point C. And the whole goal here is kind of talking about like, where is point C? Like, where is it located on this plane? Like, where is it? And again, if I didn't have my coordinates, if I didn't have an axis, then I wouldn't be able to give you a measurement of where it's at. So yay, let's get into this. So what is that all? Well, the reality is when we think about coordinates, we think about this concept of what we call an ordered pair. And an ordered pair lives kind of in two main letters that we like to use. We like to use X and Y. And that's how we talk about ordered pairs. We put them in this way of writing them as X and Y. And that's very important that we understand X and Y, and we'll talk about that more as we go. So what this really means then is that our measurement of X is always the first thing we look at. And our X is actually this axis along the bottom of our grid, of our axis that goes left and right. So we call this right here that X. In fact, I'm going to go over it in red. This is called the X axis. And all it is really a number line that goes on forever. Meaning then, if we thought about it right here at the beginning, there's 0. And then next would come 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. So there's my measurement. X is like, whoa, okay. We have this number line starting at 0 going, and it goes on forever, 8, 9, 10. And of course, in between, just like any other number, we would have other things like this could literally be 1 and 1/2, right? And 1 1/4 and 1 50. Like those are all on there as well. But for now, we're just going to really focus on this idea of knowing about our whole numbers on coordinates. So that's the X. It goes left and right. That's how we measure X. And so then I said the second one, we'll do that in a different color so it pops. Right. The second one is our Y. Well, if you look what's left, we have this up and down, this Y. Ooh, that was kind of rough. And this is what we call the y-axis. And just like our x, our y's go up and down. One way I remember that is I always just remember y like the sky. So y is the one that goes up and down. X goes left and right. And so, yeah, y goes up and down. And here, same thing. It would start at 0. And then it would have a 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, that's a little sloppy. 5 and a 6. And this too would go on forever. 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way up, right? Ugh, sorry, I don't really like my y. It looks kind of sloppy. Okay. So that's what we mean by having kind of this access to this coordinates or these locations or this plane. Like I just kind of make this little piece of X and Y to help me map things out. And so now this goes back to like our point C, like point C is floating out in this plane. It's just hanging out, but we want to know its location. So we look at its ordered pair. And again, if we come back to this piece over here, our ordered pair is something that we write in order of X and then Y. So what we're going to do is we're going to first see, well, where is this ordered pair in terms of X? So I'm going to start at 0 down here. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. And if you look, and this is hard in the beginning because you can see right here, it's matched right up with 3, but we don't draw lines or anything like that. In fact, all I do is I kind of use my eyeball to be like, oh, I see. Yep, there it is. Right? C, this point C is lined right up with 3. So again, we don't draw those lines. So I'm going to get rid of them so we don't get confused. But if I'm going to write this ordered pair down, what I'm going to say is, oh, okay. Well, my ordered pair is, oh, maybe I'll keep the same colors. 3. And then we look again, where is it with the Y? So I take my Y, stick with the blue to do this. Right, I'd start at 0 here. I go 1, 2, 3. Oh, looks like right here, it's lined up with 4. And that would be my coordinate plane. Oh, wait. Sorry, I got to erase the line first, then I'll write 4. And that would be my ordered pair. Boy, right there. Right, and we can actually write that. Sometimes we write it next to it. We'll say 3, 4. You might have this place that just says C is equal to 3, 4. But also notice how I'm writing this, right? It is always X first, comma, then Y. And I put it in parentheses. So that helps me kind of make sense of it. So that's kind of the start. And I know that's a lot, right? Because it's kind of like, what is all of this stuff? So let's just play a little more around with this idea of coordinates. And so I'm going to go ahead and build a second graph, if you will. I mean, that's really what it is a graph. So I'm going to draw my X and then my Y. And again, down here at the very start is always going to be 0, 0. And so I'm going to keep it the same color. Your increments, right, which is the tick marks, we tend to try to keep in the same space. And here we're just, again, talking in increments of 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then your Y, the same thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we have this. And again, these go on infinitely. So your line would go on and on and on and on. But for now, we're just going to focus here. And so we have a couple of things that goes on. Like, for example, 1, you might actually have a list. It might say, okay, well, A has an ordered pair of 4, 3. B has an ordered pair of 9, 1. And C has an ordered pair of 0, 6. I don't know, just made those up, right? So there's the ordered pair. Again, pair being 2 things. We have 2, right? So we call this an ordered pair. So pair being the 2 numbers, order being the order in which they are. And again, we write any ordered pair in the combination of X then Y. So what we would do is we would look at our first ordered pair over here and we see we have 4, 3. So what that means is I'm going to go X4, Y3. So let's do that. So we're going to start. Some people say a way to remember this is like you walk into the building, then you take the elevator. So you go left and right first, and then you go up and down second. That helps. I just continue to think X and then Y like this guy. So X is 4. So if we started here, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So here's the thing that's hard. I'm going to put this here for now so we see that's where it is, but we don't put our dot there. That's just for reference right now for us. So we're at 4. And then we can see we're going to go up 3. So, right, again, we don't draw dots, but I just want to make sure that we see these things. So there would be 1. We'll go up here to 2. Go up here to 3. Oh, that's where it ends. Sorry, I was thinking 4, 4. Sorry. So it ends at 3. So technically, our dot, our coordinates of A is right here. X4, Y3, and I would label that with A. Okay. And we don't have all this, so I'm going to get rid of this because that's where it gets confusing. We don't have that either. Okay. And that's kind of messy around here. There we go. Good. So that's what we would end up with in showing A. It's 4, 3. So then let's show B. We'll do B in a different color. So B has the coordinates of 9, 1. So I'm going to start at 9 with X. I'm going to go over to 9, and then I'm just going to pop up 1, and that would be right here. And this would be B. And then we would do C. I'll do C in a different color. So C has a 0. So actually, I would go nowhere on my X whatsoever because I start at 0, and then I just pop up 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it actually lived right here. This would be C. Okay, try to get rid of that yellow dot there. Boom. Okay, so that's one way we can do this, since we're giving these coordinates, these ordered pairs, and we gotta like list them and show where they are. The other thing we do with this skill is that at times they may give us another, oops, draw that, give us another coordinate, D, and the question might be, well, what is the ordered pair of D? D is what in terms of X and Y? So then we just got to find, oh, D, well, how do I find it? Well, I'm going to start with my X's, right? I'm going to start with X. So I'm going to move along X. Again, we don't draw with our pencil, but I want you to see where I'm going, right? And I can see right here, not the straightest line in the world, but I can see right there, it's matched up with 3. So D is right above 3. So I could say D's ordered pair is 3. And then I look at where it matches up with the Y, which is 5 here. And that's, let's do it this way. And that's right there, my ordered pair. 3 over and up 5, that makes D. Okay, so for sake of time, let's just kind of play with another one real quick and then see how we do. So let's just build another quadrant, which isn't a full quadrant yet, and we'll talk about in other videos the next steps of this. But again, right, here's my X and then my Y. Let's move this over. Our Y is right here. And then we just label what we got. Again, it starts at 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Write out a lot on that one. Guess that's what I get for drawing it nice and big. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. My Y's are looking sloppy. Okay, and then let's just do this. Why don't I put up A and go ahead and take your time and kind of think like, where is A? Maybe not lined up as perfect as I wanted it to be. We are going to focus on whole numbers. So I did hand draw this. Often you'll see a lot of this isn't hand drawn, so it's a little more precise. But we just kind of take our time and say, okay, well, where is it? What is the ordered pair? What is this ordered pair of A? Meaning like, where is A located? Again, remember, the order is always X, then Y. We figure that out, right? We first start by starting down here at 0. Then we go over to OEC, which is 5. So it's lining up with 5. So my first piece of my ordered pair is 5. And then we want to go ahead. Let's do that. Okay, get rid of that. All right. 5. Sorry, technical difficulties. A lot of times you can't see those, but I was struggling with the computer. And then we look at the Y, and the Y right here. Again, we don't draw that, but you can see it matches with 4. I'm drawing it so you can see it. But when you're doing the work yourself, you do not draw on the grid like that. So that would be the ordered pair of A, 5, 4. You move over 5 X's, then you go up 4 Y's. And then let's do this. Let's do the other way around. Let's say we have B, and B is located at 8. No, not 8. 3, 7. Sorry, I realized 8 would be right where we're doing our work. So 3, 7. So again, X and then Y. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in 3. So 1, 2, 3. Again, we wouldn't put those X's on there, but that's just so we can see that. And then I'm going to go up 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm actually going to be at that last piece. So all that. That's just to help us see it, but we don't put it on there. So that's a hard thing to do there. So 3, 7, that put us right here. And then we just label that with B because that's what it is. B is 3, 7. Okay, so that's just a brief introduction to ordered pairs and coordinates. That's kind of work we're going to be doing for now. So just getting used to that, remembering X and then Y, finding these locations, and then how to write an ordered pair appropriately with the commas and the parentheses around them and all that. As always, if we have questions, you ask them. Watch the videos more than once, make sense of what's happening, and we'll catch you next time. As always, we appreciate you and your hard work, and we'll catch you at the next video.